Today's conversation is going to be one that's fairly familiar with a lot of you guys. Okay, it's offensive zone theory. There's an age group range on this discussion right now that ranges from players that are going to be going into their first year of U11 to players that are currently in U13. If you're in U13 or even U12, you've probably seen a lot of these concepts before. My goal here is just to walk you through the basic concept of a 2-1-2 check in conjunction with how to shine in evaluations, because ultimately my goal is to have you guys look as good as you can in evaluations so that you guys can play at the highest level possible. Okay. So today we're going to talk about the fundamentals of a 2-1-2 check. Again, that's going to be somewhat familiar for a lot of you. For some of you, it may not. That's okay. We'll talk about how to shift on a 2-1-2 check, and then, like I said before, we're going to use our knowledge of offensive zone theory to show your abilities and evaluations. The fundamentals of a 2-1-2 check is that it's used to create balance in the offensive zone. And what I mean by balance is players are pursuing the puck with the purpose of retrieving it, but a team also has players positioned defensively to prevent the other team from exiting their zone easily should they get the puck. Okay. So obviously, when we're in the offensive zone, we want to score goals, but we also have to be cognizant, or we have to be aware that the other team in some situations is going to get the puck back. And if we have all of our players deep in the zone, below the goal line, then it's going to make it easier for the other team to break out against us. And that's not something that we want. Okay. So the 2-1-2 forecheck consists of two players down low, generally near the goal line. Another term that I've heard before when coaching or playing is on the puck. So you have two players down low on the puck, and they're working together trying to retrieve the puck, or if they have possession of the puck, generate offense for scoring opportunity. Okay. So those are the two down low. Then you're going to have one player in the slot, generally speaking, also known as the high guy. And then we have two players positioned near the blue line. And those are typically the defensemen. Okay, so I created a diagram here for you guys. All right, so what this is look in the offensive zone, we have two players. I have F1 and I have F2 down low. I have one player in the slot. Right here, I have F3 positioned in the slot. And then I have two players positioned near the blue line, which is a defenseman. In this situation, we've got LD, which means left defenseman. I've got RD, which means right defenseman. Typically, when teams are playing a 2-1-2 check, there is no centerman, there is no left winger, there is no right winger. Okay. So generally speaking, as soon as a team exits their zone, the defensive zone, then all of a sudden centerman, winger, those terms don't exist anymore. Generally, it's F1, F2, F3, F1, F2 down low, F3 up high. Okay. So I just want to talk briefly on how to shift on a 2-1-2 check. Okay, so we know that the puck is not stationary in a game situation. We know that the play is dynamic. We know that the puck is going to move. And the players are going to have to move as well. Okay, so if the puck moves laterally, the two forwards that are closest or who can reach the puck the quickest will pursue the puck, and the other forward will transition, become F3 or the high guy. So in this situation, you can see we've got the puck in the left-hand corner, and the purple F1 and the green F2 are the two players closest to that puck. Okay. F3 is playing a little bit more defensively and also being an option for a pass should F1 and F2 gain possession of the puck. And then we have our left defenseman or our right defenseman on defense. Okay. So, what I'm going to show is the puck is going to transition behind the net. Okay. It's going to go into the other corner here, into the right corner. And I'm just going to show you guys how it shifts. Okay. So basically the puck is going to go on the other side. Boom. It goes on the other side right here. And you can see what's happened. Okay. So previously we had the purple F1 that was forechecking with F2 on the puck. F3 was a high guy. When the puck comes into the other side of the corner, F2 is going to be nearest the puck, and then F3 is going to activate to pursue that puck. The purple F1 is going to transition higher into the slot to play more defensively. Okay, so as I said, in this case, F2 and F3 are closest to the puck, and they pursue it with F2 remaining down low and F3 transitioning down from when they were in the slot. F1 was the furthest away from the puck, so he or she transitions into the slot to become the high guy. The defensemen, they're going to shift as well. So in this situation, we've got the right defenseman who's now on the right-hand side of the ice, and the left defenseman pivots into the middle of the ice to be a viable option for a pass should we gain control. Okay, so don't worry if I seem like I'm going a little bit fast, I have an animation for you guys coming up here so that you can see it. Okay, so what does this look like in motion? Okay, so what I've done here is I've inserted some blue players. OD means the opposition defense. OC is opposition center. This is opposition defenseman who's guarding the front of the net. We have the opposition left winger who's playing in the high slot, and then we have the opposition right winger playing along the wall. Okay, so in this situation, F1 is furthest away from the puck. F3 is high guy. F2 is forechecking as well. Okay, so what you can see is the opposition defenseman transition that puck from the left side to the right side. And then all of our forwards, they pivoted as well. Okay. So I'm just going to show you what I want you to do is I just want you to focus on the purple F1 right now. Okay. So boom, they shift into the slot. Okay. Now I'm going to go back one more time and I just want you to watch this F3. Okay. So the orange F3 is in the slot. We know that that player has to activate. Okay. So boom, puck goes behind. F3 cuts them off, takes away the angle. Okay. I'll come back one more time. Let's just watch our defenseman. Okay. I've got the left defenseman on the left side. I've got the right defenseman in the middle of the ice. When that puck transitions from the left side to the right side, we're going to watch that right defenseman take the wall. The left defenseman is going to come into the middle of the ice like so. Boom. Okay. So I think that makes sense for everybody so far. If there's any questions, just let me know. Hands up if anybody's got any questions right now. We're all good. We're all good. Okay, excellent. All right. Excellent, excellent. Okay. All right. Okay. So moving on. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to talk about how to use your knowledge of the offensive zone theory to show your abilities in evaluations. Okay. So what I really want to stress to you guys is when you guys get into an evaluation, you're going to have a spectrum or a range of the ability of the evaluators to evaluate players on the ice. And so one of the things that I really want with the athletes that I work with is for them to leave no doubt in the minds of the evaluators what their playing abilities are. Okay. And so a lot of evaluators, they watch the puck. Okay. And if they're watching the puck, F3 isn't getting noticed. So in this situation, we've got the opposition defenseman playing below the goal line. Okay. And then we've got purple F1 and F2 that are on that puck. If you're an evaluator and you've got your clipboard, you're kind of watching and you're watching that battle. Okay. You're watching that battle. A lot of uneducated evaluators aren't going to be watching the left defenseman to see if they're playing positionally sound in the opposition zone. And the same applies to the right defenseman. Okay. And then this F3, who's a high guy, is doing the responsible thing. Okay. They're doing the responsible thing. They're playing a little bit more defensive. But if that puck doesn't come to them into the slot, they're probably not going to get noticed. So if you're F3, you're looking for your opportunity to be aggressive. I want you to angle. I want you to attack. I want you to get into the guts of the play, and I want you to get noticed. When I say I want you to get into the guts of the play, it's a little bit counterintuitive in the fact that when you get right into the guts of the play, it doesn't really mean the middle. Okay. A lot of the time when we think of the middle, when we think of guts, we think of the middle. When I'm talking about getting into the guts of the play, I mean getting along the wall. I want you getting stick on puck. I want you battling. I want you grinding to get that puck back. Okay, that's what I mean about getting. I just want you to engage in a battle wherever it is on the ice. I want you battling. That's what I mean by getting into the guts of the play. Okay, so in this situation here, F3 is going to get himself or herself noticed. Okay, when that puck goes from side to side, boom. F3 is automatically engaging into a battle. F2 can show their abilities by pursuing that puck with speed. And these players are going to get noticed in an evaluation. Okay. You look for that opportunity to attack. Angle, stick on puck, attack. Okay. All right. One of the things I've noticed for young players, often when they're in the position of the opposition defenseman, okay, so they're the puck carrier and they're below the goal line with the puck. When they feel pressure, okay, and I don't notice it as much at the U13 level. Sometimes I do at the U13 level, but absolutely at the U11 level, I notice this all of the time that when this opposition defenseman, the guy that's puck carrier in blue, when they feel pressure, they often just rifle that puck around the boards. Okay. And so we should probably look to anticipate that. All right. So when this is the case, the opposition left winger, if they can get to the wall on a rim puck, it's going to be clumsy for them to pick up. Okay, it's a skill. Even NHLers picking up the puck off of the wall, it's a real skill. Not everybody can do it well. And I especially don't anticipate that a player playing between first year U11 or second year U13 is going to be a pro at picking up pucks off the wall. So we should understand that when those pucks get rimmed around the wall, we should sense an opportunity in that situation. Okay. So if you're the right defenseman in this case, your opportunity to shine in evaluations is going to be by showing your aggression and pinching to keep that puck in and sustaining pressure for your team. Okay. So in this situation, boom, player comes, F3, like we've talked about before, engages, puts pressure on this opposition defenseman. F2 is in hot pursuit. This opposition defenseman that's puck carrier is going to panic. They put that puck around the boards, that right defenseman pinches. I'll show it to you one more time. The puck is going to come around the wall. This right defenseman is going to show their abilities by pinching, looking to keep that puck in the zone. If they get possession of that puck, there's a good chance that there might be a scoring opportunity because the only player that's going to be close to that right defenseman is probably going to be that opposition left winger, and the right defenseman is going to have a step on them. Okay, they take one step into the ice. Maybe the centerman steps up, maybe the opposition defenseman steps up, but there's probably going to be a scoring opportunity if that right defenseman can gain possession of that puck. So the puck comes around, the right defenseman comes in, and they engage. Okay, that's a really good way to look, really good in evaluations. Okay, so if you're the high guy and your defenseman pinches, you can show your hockey IQ by covering for the defenseman. Okay, so what I mean by that is when that puck comes around, all of a sudden we have our high guy F1, the purple left one is the high guy. The opposition defenseman is going to rim that puck. Right defenseman is going to pinch in. We're vulnerable now, okay? So if that right defenseman, I'll just go back real quick. Boom. That puck gets rimmed around the boards. One more time here. All right, so in this situation, puck gets rimmed around the boards. Right defenseman pinches in. If that F1 doesn't come here, okay? So if that F1 stays high, where they are right there, then that puts a giant hole right here where we're vulnerable, okay? So the F1 can show their high hockey IQ by covering for that right defenseman in this situation, okay? Puck gets rimmed around the wall, and then the F1 is going to cover for that player, okay? Now, do I have any questions from any of you guys right now? Any questions? Guys, take yourself off mute. I don't have everybody up here on the screen right now, but just take yourself off mute and ask any questions if you have any. Otherwise, I'm going to go into quiz time. Any questions? Okay. All right. We're going to go into quiz time. Okay. So, all right. So we'll go back into presentation mode here. All right. So quiz time. All right. So what if the opposition left winger, all right. So opposition left winger was higher in his or her zone when the puck was rimmed. Okay. So what should the right defenseman do? Should they back off? Should they hold the line? What should the left defenseman do? Okay. And then what should the high guy do? So um, Winston, I might pick on you here. What do you think that they should do in this situation? Right. So if the left defenseman is higher up in the defensive zone. So they're not down by the hash marks. The opposition left winger this puck is going to come around to this side. The opposition left winger is going to come higher in the zone. The right defenseman, what should they do? Should they back off and allow that opposition left winger to exit the zone freely? Or what should that right defenseman do?
Pinch in, and don't let the offensive left winger, the left winger, get out of the zone.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. That's 100% right. All right. That's 100% right. Hudson, can you take yourself off mute right now?
Oh,
Hey. Okay. So I absolutely agree with Winston. If that puck is going to come around the wall here and that opposition left winger, instead of being on the hash marks, they're higher up and they're almost close to where that right defenseman would be if the right defenseman held the line. in that situation, what should the left defenseman do? Do you have any ideas on what the left defenseman should do if that right defenseman gets engaged in a battle just inside the blue line?
He should stay back.
Should stay back just a little bit, okay? So you're
Yeah.
100% right, Hudson. I absolutely agree with you. I have a term called hinge for that, meaning that he should stay back just a little bit. He should hinge just a little bit, but you're 100% right, okay? Now, what should um Jack, I'm gonna pick on you for this one, okay? So Jack, what should the high guy do in a situation where the right defenseman's engaged in a battle on the boards right there? Should the high guy should he stay or she stay in the slot, or what do you think that high guy should do?
Um, support the defenseman.
Yeah, I agree. That guy should come over and he should support the defenseman because in the event that there's a lost battle, in the event that that right defenseman maybe he has the puck hop over their stick, maybe they lose the battle, then that high guy is going to be the next line of support right there. So he starts coming back. It's going to support the guy. So here's what it looks like. Okay, so we talked about it there before. All right. So that puck comes around right now. Okay, the opposition. Um, the opposition left winger is going to be on the wall right here. The puck is going to get rimmed like so. We're going to see this F1 going to get rimmed like so. We're going to see them engage in a battle right here. F1 is going to come, be support, and then exactly like Hudson said, the left defenseman is going to come a little bit higher, going to back off just a little bit, not too much. We don't need that left defenseman down by the red line, but that left defenseman is going to hinge just a little bit. So if we do get possession of the puck, they can step into the zone. But if we lose a battle here on the blue line, that left defenseman already occupies the middle of the ice, and that left defenseman is going to be another layer of support so that we don't get scored on. Okay. So another question for you guys. What should the defenseman or high guy supporting do with the puck if he or she gets possession of the puck right on the blue line? Okay. Do I have any ideas? All right. So Jude, I'm going to pick on you this time. Okay. So in this situation, the right defenseman is going to get a puck right here on the blue line, and they're going to be engaged for the battle. If you were that defenseman, Jude, what would you do if the puck was right on the blue line and you were battling with the opposition? And
I
you
didn't
got
see the
possession of the
mouse.
puck.
Wait, where? I didn't see the mouse.
Yeah, okay. So here what I'll do, Jude, is I'll just gonna go into presentation mode, right? Zoom out. So here's the situation. That puck is gonna get rimmed, okay? And then that right defenseman is gonna get possession, or we're gonna get possession of that puck right on the blue line, okay? So that left winger is gonna be battling you. That puck is inches from exiting the zone. What would you do in that situation, Jude?
And I'm who?
Pardon me?
I'm who?
You are F1 and you just got possession of that puck right here.
I'd look for the left D if he comes in.
You could look for the left D, but if you have only inches to spare and you're engaged in a high-end battle, what I would tell you guys, don't be afraid to put that puck deep in the zone. Okay, so if there's a battle going on right here and we get possession of the puck, don't be afraid to put it off the glass and deep into the zone, right? Because you got to remember, we have the green F2 and we have the orange F3 engaged in a battle down here in the corner, okay? Don't be afraid at all to put that puck down deep. If you're a defenseman getting the possession of the puck on that blue line and you're in a precarious situation when the other team is checking you hard, don't be afraid to put your forwards to work, okay? Put that puck into the corner. The forwards love to work. Put it into the corner, let them get after it, let them forecheck, and we'll go from there, okay? All right. So that's what we showed right there. All right. One more situation, okay? Now, what would the defenseman or high guy supporting do with the puck at the pops out of the blue line, okay? So what I'm going to do, Jude, I'm going to have you answer this one too, okay? So in this situation, the puck comes around. We have, let's say we've got Winston and Hudson forechecking on this opposition defenseman. The puck comes around. It hops over the stick of Jude, and Jude picks it up on the other side of the blue line right here. Now, Jude, if you were F1 and you picked up that puck, what would you do in this situation? It's clearly exited the zone, and you just picked it up in the neutral zone, what would you do?
I'd stay back a bit and let my team clear the zone and then look for options.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, so Jude's 100% correct. Okay, so what Jude is saying is he would back off, so he's going to pick up that puck, back off, move it back to one of his options. And so, to Jude's point, the option he's going to pick in this situation is pass it to the left defenseman. So Jude had a really good point earlier. He said that he would want to have the opportunity to let his teammates come out of the zone to clear. Okay. So if Jude was the purple left one and he passed it to the left defenseman in this situation, the left defenseman is going to be aware that there are players trapped deep within the opposition's zone. Okay. So in this situation, we want to try our best not just to take the puck and fire it into the opposition zone. The reason being is none of our players are going to be able to touch that puck or enter the zone if the other players haven't cleared yet. Okay, it would be offside and we wouldn't be able to attack. So what we want to do is we want to delay. We want to delay so that player can pull that puck wide. Say, okay. So in this situation, Jude passes it to the left defenseman. That player pulls it wide. All right, showing high hockey IQ so that the green F2 and the orange F3 are able to exit the zone. Okay, so in this situation, those players exit the zone. And now we can put that puck deep and we can get back on the forecheck. Okay. All right. So that is essentially the presentation, guys. I know for many of you guys, you played a lot of full ice hockey. It's going to be something that you're very comfortable with. For others, this is going to be their first season going into full ice hockey, and this is going to be something that they're unfamiliar with. And I wanted to make sure that for those that have played a lot of full ice hockey, they're comfortable with the concept. It's a brush off, making sure that they're understanding what they need to do with a basic forecheck. The 2-1, there's lots of different forechecks. You can play a 1-2-2. You can play a 1-3-1. There's different forechecks, but basically the most universal forecheck for young athletes like yourselves is a 2-1-2. So I just wanted to dust it off, give you guys more exposure so that you guys feel comfortable going into evaluations. Okay. Do I have any questions?